business I want to be in? So the person that asked this is a photographer, and they are saying, I want to start a photography business, but I don't know if I want to do fine art. I don't know if I want to do weddings. I don't know what kind of photography I want to do. And the reason I kind of generalize this and say what kind of business is because the advice I'm going to give is for anybody. Because a lot of people are thinking that it's like, I want to start a business. I know I like doing this, but I don't know how to tweak it. I don't know how to specialize. All right, here's where finding your ideal client comes to. You're going to use the same exercise for finding your ideal client. So what I want you to do is imagine that money was no object. It didn't matter if you were getting paid or not. You have an inheritance, and the only stipulation to this inheritance is that you have to do something you enjoy. You got to give back to the world some kind of way. What would you do? Close your eyes and ask yourself that question, and what comes to your mind? Something comes to your mind. What is it? Are you doing photography for weddings? Is it fine art? What is it? You're going to find a little bit more about what it is that you want to do when you first take money out of the equation. What do you really want to do? Who do you really want to serve? When you do that and kind of visualize, you really will start to get a clear picture of who your ideal client is. Once you know who your ideal client is, you're going to know what area of business you want to do. So that's one thing. The other thing you want to think about is your personality. So your personality type is really important. All right, let me give you an example. So say you're an introvert. Do you really want to do weddings? Weddings are a big, huge people thing. You got so many people to deal with. You got these families to deal with. You got the bride. You got a lot of emotion. It's this big thing. Here's the thing, though. You might be the type of photographer that you are in love with the whole romance of it. You have a way of capturing that gown that nobody else could get. Those glasses, the expressions on people's faces. In that case, you could still do wedding photography, but you would need an assistant that could deal with the people thing. Otherwise, the whole experience will be terrible for you and for them. You need somebody that can deal with people, the people side if you're introverted at all. Introversion comes on spectrums. For weddings, if you're not an extrovert, you need an assistant to deal with the people stuff because it can be overwhelming. Now, here's the interesting thing. The part 2 of that goes back to money. So who's going to pay for it? Who's going to pay for it? Who is in need of your services? So for example, fine art. Maybe you know where that audience is. Who buys fine art photography? Is there a need for it? Is there a market for it? So the first thing is you have to do something. This is how I coach because it means I believe in it so heavily. You want to do something that means a lot to you. The second piece, a lot of people put this first. The second piece is who's going to pay for it. You want to know who your audience is, if there's a market for it. So as you analyze those two things, you're going to be able to figure out which one of those photography specializations that you should be in. It's going to work the same way with any of you who are trying to figure out where you should be in your business or who your ideal client is. You can do that exercise.